Simple, but I think important question today. Can a poem help us change our mind and also our mood? Well, I know that's a very bold claim. This is Dale Byron on poetry, and that's what we want to talk about today. And I've brought a poem with all humility that I think you may find fits that very bold statement about being able to change our mood and change our mind, being able to have gifts for the head and the heart. Okay, the poem is by the amazing Irish poet Padraig Ó Tuama, and it's called The Facts of Life. The Facts of Life, and the poem goes like this: that you were born, that you were born, and you will die. That you will sometimes love enough and sometimes not. That you will lie, if only to yourself. That you will get tired. That you will learn most from the situations you did not choose. That you will learn most from the situations you did not choose. That there will be some things that move you more than you can say, more than you can say. That you will live, that you must be loved, that you will avoid questions most urgently in need of your attention. That you began as the fusion of a sperm and an egg of two people who once were strangers and may well still be. That life isn't fair, that life isn't fair, that life is sometimes good and sometimes even better than good, that life is often not so good, that life is real, that life is real. And if you can survive it, well, survive it well, with love and art and meaning given where meaning's scarce, with meaning given where meaning's scarce, that you will learn to live with regret, that you will learn to live with respect, that the structures that constrict you may not be permanently constricting, that you will probably be okay, that you will probably be okay, that you must accept change before you die, but you will die anyway. So you might as well live. So you might as well live, and you might as well love. You might as well love. You might as well love. Padraig Ó Tuama, the poem, The Facts of Life. Now, I heard him speak in a conversation online about reading this poem in front of a group of young students. And I think it was a 12 or 13-year-old girl, after she heard him read this poem, raised her hand and said, she said, I got a question. She said, you used the term, you might as well love, 3 times. That's the way you ended the poem. She said, I'm curious, who exactly were you trying to convince? Such a wise question from a young girl. And Padraig said that the question was stunning to him, and the immediate insight that it gave him into his own being, his own heart. And he said that he's never forgotten that question and appreciated it so very much. Now, I don't know if I mentioned, but he's, in addition to being a poet, he's a theologian, and also in a previous life, a conflict mediator, although I think now his main work is around poetry. He hosts a podcast, a podcast that he hosts called Poetry Unbound, which is quite good. So I would highly recommend that. And one last thing about this poem that I thought was very interesting. And again, if I bring a poem by another poet onto this podcast, it means that I, of course, admire the poet and love the poem. And it means that that poem has changed my life. It means that that poem has shaped my life. And that's the kind of poem I'm talking about that we need sometimes to help us reset our mood, to help us change our mind, to help us start over again, or to help us start at the beginning of a day with a poem like this, just to get us grounded in a very real and powerful way. The other thing I was going to say is that he mentioned that this poem, although he didn't think when he wrote it that it was one of his best offerings, but that it has gotten legs and has been used a lot, and that the poem has been read both at weddings, celebrations, beginnings, all that kind of stuff at a wedding, and also at funerals as well, with the grief and the loss and all of that. Now, for me, that is an amazing poem that shows up at both those kinds of occasions. So, my question: is it possible to change our mind and change our mood, in particular, change our mood with a poem? Yes, I say. Yes, I say. And for me, this particular poem works for that. Okay. Well, as I always say, that if you like what you're hearing, if you like the poems in the podcast, then please refer it over to others. Make a comment if you want, or like it, or whatever would be wonderful. Get it to more people. Okay. Thanks again for your listening ear. Until next time and next poems, please take good care of yourself. And if you can, take good care of someone else.